Your best automation work is invisible. That's the problem. You ship a workflow that saves your client 12 hours a week, and 3 months later they cancel because, and I'm quoting here, "We're not really sure what you're doing for us anymore." The automation is working so well they forgot it exists. Here's what nobody tells you about running a solo automation consultancy. The better your work, the less your clients see it. And when they stop seeing it, they stop valuing it. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a zero-touch weekly digest that makes your invisible work visible. 90 minutes to set up, runs forever, and here's the kicker. It actually reduces churn without adding a single meeting to your calendar. By the end of this episode, you'll have a specific automation sequence, Gmail to Make to Notion, with optional Slack and PDF outputs, that compiles everything you shipped last week into a client-readable digest. No manual work, no weekly check-ins, just proof of value landing in their inbox every Tuesday morning. Let me show you exactly how this works in production. I'm pulling up Make right now, and yes, you can build this exact same thing in Zapier or N8N. I'll show you the equivalents, but the core pattern stays the same. You're solving the client-proof problem. Here's what actually happens when you run a solo consultancy. You spend Monday building a complex Salesforce to Stripe reconciliation workflow. Tuesday, you're debugging webhook failures. Wednesday, you ship a customer onboarding sequence that cuts their manual work by 80%. And by Friday, your client has no idea any of this happened because it all runs in the background. Agency Analytics did this study on client retention. Turns out the #1 reason clients leave isn't price or results. It's perceived inactivity. They literally think you're not doing anything. So we fixed that with radical visibility. Every week, this automation pulls everything you did, every email, every task, every fix, and packages it into a digest that takes them 30 seconds to read, but makes your value undeniable. All right, let's build this. First thing, the stack. You need 4 pieces. Gmail or your helpdesk for source data. Make, Zapier, or N8N for orchestration. An LLM, OpenAI, or Gemini for summarization. And Notion for the client portal. Optional 5th piece is Slack if your clients live there. Starting with the trigger. New scenario in Make. Add a schedule module. Set it to run weekly. Now here's the first decision point that matters. What time zone? Always use the client's local time zone. I learned this the hard way. Sent a digest at 6 a.m. Pacific to a client in London. They got it at 2 p.m., buried under a full day of email. Engagement dropped to 0. Next module, Gmail. And this is important. Make just updated to Gmail v4 in January. See this dropdown? Filter type. You want Gmail filter, not simple. This lets you use Gmail's search operators. Watch this. I'm pasting in label, client name, newer, then 7D, category, promotions. That pulls everything from the last 7 days with their label, excluding promotional garbage. Set your limit to 100. You might think you need more, but if you're sending more than 100 emails per client per week, that's a different problem. Content format, set to full, and check Include HTML body. You need the full context for the LLM to work with. Now, if you're not on Gmail, maybe you're using Help Scout or Zendesk, same pattern. Make has native modules for both, or you can use the HTTP module to hit their APIs directly. Just watch the rate limits. Help Scout counts writes as double. Zendesk varies by plan, typically 200 to 700 requests per minute. Okay, here's where most people mess up. They dump all this email data straight into ChatGPT and hope for the best. That's how you get hallucinations, made-up metrics, and summaries that sound like they were written by a robot who's never actually worked with a client. Add the OpenAI module, or Gemini if you prefer, both work. Here's the prompt structure that actually works. 4 sections: shipped, in progress, blockers, next week. Strict JSON output. maximum 5 bullets per section. And this is crucial. Every bullet must include a source reference. Watch. Analyze these emails and tasks from the past week. Output JSON with 4 arrays. Shipped items, in progress, blockers, next week. Each item should be a single sentence with a source ID. Maximum 5 items per category. Focus on client-visible outcomes, not internal process. See that token limit? Set it to 500. That forces conciseness. Nobody reads a 2-page digest. They read 5 bullets per section, max. The hallucination problem is real, by the way. There's this paper from October 2024. Multi-document summarization increases hallucination risk exponentially. That's why we anchor every claim to a source email or task. If the LLM says completed API integration, there better be an email thread proving it. Now we package this for the client. Add a Notion module. Create a page. Connect to your client portal workspace. And here's a gotcha that burned me last month. Notion updated their API in 2025. See this field? Data source ID, not database ID. If you're using legacy modules mixed with new ones, they'll fail silently. Spent 3 hours debugging that. The page template has 4 callout blocks matching our sections. Shipped gets a green check mark. In progress gets the construction emoji. Blockers gets a red warning triangle. Next week gets the calendar icon. Visual hierarchy matters. Your client should understand the status in literally 1 second. Below that, add metadata. Date range, number of inputs processed, total tasks completed. Clients love numbers even when they don't mean anything. Processed 47 items this week sounds way more impressive than did some stuff. Next module, send an email. This is the actual digest going to the client. Keep it short. Hi Sarah, here's what we accomplished this week. Then your 4 sections as bullets. Then 1 line, full details in your portal with the Notion link. That's it. No essays, no explanations. If they use Slack, add that module too. Post to their shared channel. Just the top 5 items and the portal link. The point isn't to duplicate everything. It's to create multiple touch points without being annoying. Some clients want PDFs. I know. But if they want a file they can forward to their boss, you give them a file. PDF Monkey or PDF Shift both work, about 3 cents per PDF. Only generate these on demand though. Most clients never open them. Last step, and people always skip this, logging. Add another Notion module. Create an entry in your digest sent database. Timestamp, scenario run ID, which client, email message ID. Why? Because in 3 months when a client says, I never get updates from you, you can pull up 12 weeks of digests with read receipts. Let me show you this actually running. Here's last week's run for a test client. Processed 43 emails, 8 completed tasks. The digest pulled out 5 shipped items, including a Stripe webhook fix that saved them 4 hours of manual reconciliation. 2 items in progress. 1 blocker about API rate limits. 3 things planned for next week. The email is 147 words. The Notion page has full details with links back to every source. The Slack message is just the highlights. Total execution time, 18 seconds. Total cost, including LLM tokens, about 12 cents. Now let's talk about what breaks. First gotcha, Gmail reauthorization. If you're using a personal Gmail account, not Google Workspace, you have to reauthorize every 6 months. Mark your calendar or this will break at the worst possible time. Second, Notion rate limits. 3 requests per second average. If you're running multiple clients in parallel, add delays between them. See this? Sleep module, 2 seconds between each client. Prevents 429 errors. Third, and this one's subtle, time zone math. Makes scheduler uses UTC. Your client is in Eastern Time. Daylight saving happens. Suddenly, their Tuesday morning digest arrives Monday night. Test this with actual time zone changes, not just assuming it works. The Gmail search limit is 500 messages max. If a client generates more than 500 emails a week, you need to batch or filter more aggressively. Also, maybe charge them more because that's insane volume for a solo consultant. LLM token costs add up if you're not careful. A single digest costs about 8 cents in tokens. 10 clients, weekly runs, that's $40 a month. Not huge, but price it into your retainers. Here's how you package this for clients. Don't call it automated reporting. That sounds like spam. Call it operational visibility and price it as a flat add-on. I charge $200 per month per client. They're paying for the peace of mind, not the automation. Position it as proactive communication. You'll never wonder what we're working on. Every Tuesday morning, you'll see exactly what shipped, what's in progress, and what's coming next week. That's the promise. For HubSpot users, same pattern, different API. Get requests to /CRM/V3/objects/tickets with a date filter for the last 7 days. Pull your conversations from /conversations/V3/conversations/threads. Feed that into the same LLM prompt, same Notion output. The only difference is the source. If you're on Zapier instead of Make, use the Digest app to accumulate events through the week, then fire the summary on schedule. The Gmail integration works the same way. Notion connection is identical, just costs about 3 times more in operations. For N8N people, IMAP trigger instead of Gmail module. OpenAI node with the new responses API. Notion node for page creation. The workflow looks almost identical, just different node names. Let me address the elephant in the room. But Jordan, what if the AI makes stuff up? Fair question. That's why every bullet links to a source. That's why we use structured prompts with strict schemas. That's why we cap the output length. And honestly, if the LLM occasionally says you fixed 6 webhooks instead of 5, your client isn't going to notice or care. They just want to know you're working. The counter-argument I hear is that clients don't read these. Agency analytics says passive reports have a 12% open rate. But here's the thing. This isn't a passive report. It's 5 bullets they can scan in 30 seconds, delivered where they already are, with 0 effort required from them. My open rates average 67%. Click-through to Notion is about 40%. More importantly, it changes the conversation. Instead of, what are we paying you for? You get, saw the digest. Can we prioritize that inventory sync next week? They're engaging with the work because they can see the work. Actually, let me show you something. This is a client who almost churned in January. Hadn't heard from them in 6 weeks, renewal coming up, classic danger signs. Started sending the weekly digest. By week 3, they renewed for another year and increased scope by 40%. The only thing that changed was visibility. This is where most people get stuck, so let's slow down. The emotional barrier here isn't technical. It's the fear that if clients see how little time things actually take, they'll want to pay less. But that's backwards. They're not paying for your time, they're paying for outcomes. And this digest is proof of outcomes, not time. One client told me, and this is a direct quote, "I forward your digest to my boss every week to justify your retainer." That's the real value. You're not just doing the work, you're giving them ammunition to defend the spend internally. Quick sidebar on the PDF option because people ask. Only 3 of my 12 clients use it. They're all enterprise clients who need official documentation for their procurement teams. For everyone else, the Notion link is enough. Don't build features nobody uses. The Slack integration, though? Game changer. Post to their shared channel, their whole team sees it, creates this ambient awareness of progress. One client said it's like having a virtual stand-up without the meeting. That's exactly what we want. Here's a mistake I made early on, sending different formats to different stakeholders. The CEO got a summary, the tech lead got details, the project manager got task lists. Nightmare to maintain. Now everyone gets the same digest. If they want more detail, they click through to Notion. Let me show you the actual make scenario JSON. I'm dropping this in the show notes. Import it, add your connections, change the client label, and you're running in literally 10 minutes. No excuse not to ship this today. For cost optimization, if you're running more than 20 clients, consider batching. Instead of 20 separate scenarios, 1 scenario with a client loop. Reduces make operations by about 70%. Same output, lower platform costs. The prompt engineering matters more than people think. Don't just say, summarize these emails. Be specific about voice, length, focus. I spent 2 hours tuning my prompt to sound like me writing a quick update, not ChatGPT writing a report. Write like a technical consultant giving a quick status update. No corporate speak, no leveraging synergies, just clear, specific outcomes. If something saved time, say how much. If something's blocked, say why. Test this with your messiest client first, the one who sends 17 emails a day, changes requirements mid-build, has 3 different stakeholders. If the digest works for them, it'll work for everyone. So here's what we actually built today. A zero-touch system that takes your invisible work, all those background automations, all those silent fixes, and makes it visible without adding any manual work to your week. Your clients see value, you prevent churn, and the whole thing runs for about 12 cents per client per week. The real unlock here isn't the automation itself. It's what happens when clients can finally see what you're doing. That conversation shift from, what are we paying for, to, can we add this to next week? That's worth way more than the $200 monthly add-on. Your action item is simple. Pick one client, ideally one whose renewal is coming up in the next quarter. Build this digest for them. Run it manually once to test, then let it run weekly. Watch what happens to the relationship when they start seeing the work. Everything we built today, the make scenario JSON, the prompt templates, the Notion database structure, even a cost calculator spreadsheet, it's all in the show notes. Import it, connect your accounts, and you're shipping in under 90 minutes. Next week, we're tackling another solo operator nightmare. Client onboarding that actually converts trial users without you touching anything. We'll build a 14-day nurture sequence that adapts based on usage data. No manual check-ins, no just checking in emails, just smart automation that closes deals while you sleep. I'm Jordan Chen. This is Headcount Zero. Keep shipping.